Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another one of my Gay Gamer video podcasts. Starting with a quick movie review, I did go back to the movies. I saw The House with a Clock in Its Walls, in IMAX no less, but I only saw it in IMAX because with the IMAX screenings, they were showing Thriller, Michael Jackson's Thriller, in 3D IMAX. They had converted it to 3D and stuck it before certain screenings of The House with the Clock in Its Walls. So I was like, hey, with my AMC A-list, I can see 3D in IMAX, so I reserved myself a seat, which is funny, I reserved it like a week or so early, and then it turns out it wasn't really necessary because the theater was not even half full. There was like maybe a dozen people. I mean, it was a matinee at like 1:15, but still, on a Saturday afternoon, but it was still like, there was like maybe like just over a dozen people in the theater, it seemed. But Thriller was super fun. I was disappointed. I mean, it was not shot for 3D, so it was a good 3D conversion, but they didn't have a lot to work with as far as like things popping out of the screen at you or anything. Obviously, if it was meant to be in 3D, Michael Jackson would have ensured there was plenty of things popping out at you. They did what they did. I swear there should have been a shot of him as a zombie like this, but there wasn't, which is just weird, but okay. They did their best, and there were a few fun pop-out moments. One they had to totally fake at the end. They were just like, ah, but it was still fun. And there was a thing before that was like, please put your 3D glasses on now. And then at the end they were like, please take off your 3D glasses. Because I'm pretty sure like some of the people would have left them on and been like, wow, the 3D in The House with the Clock in Its Walls is terrible. Nothing's popping out at all. Although there were a few shots in it where I felt like I wish this was in 3D, because there were a few shots where I was like, oh, that would have looked really good in 3D. But it wasn't, it was just in IMAX, which is weird because I had only ever seen one IMAX movie in my life, which is when IMAX like was first introduced, and there was like this like documentary about like mountain climbing or Everest or something, and I remember going to see it, and we saw it, and it was like this. It was like sitting in the front row of the drive-in, and it was just this overwhelming screen, and it gave me vertigo because I don't do well with heights, and there were certain scenes where it was like, it was too real. Even though it wasn't 3D, it just felt like, whoa, and it gave me vertigo, and I was like, oh my god, I'm freaking out. And I was like, this is too much, and I never went back. And like, they would release movies in IMAX, and I was like, how are you people sitting through like a 3-hour Harry Potter movie that's like this? It's too much. I just want I like a big screen, but like, that's too big. But this IMAX screen at the 34th Street AMC theater, it was not that big. It just felt like a big screen. Like, I took a seat like towards the way back because, not the very back, but towards the back because I didn't want to be overwhelmed. And I sat there and I could see the entire screen within my view. And I'm like, I feel like if it's IMAX, like maybe like 4 or 5 rows up, it would have been overwhelming and it would have been more impressive and IMAX-y, but it didn't seem as big as I remembered them being. I remembered it being like just like a drive-in. It was huge. But I guess maybe I won't be scared off of seeing things in IMAX now. But as for the movie itself, it's fun. It's like, it's not like anything like super amazing. Like, I'm not telling you to like run right out and see it, but it was an entertaining, magical, whimsical fantasy movie. And there's some bits in there that I think should give children nightmares, which I'm all for. Because it's like, you know, it's a PG movie, it's for kids, but there's some visuals in there that are like, I was like, whoa, that's a bit much. And if I was like an 8-year-old, I'd probably have nightmares, which is cool. So good on you, Eli Roth, who turns out to be a solid director when he has a good script to work with. Not that, like I said, not like it's brilliant or anything, but it's perfectly entertaining, and Cate Blanchett is wonderful, and Jack Black isn't too annoying. So, yeah, you could do worse. It's hard. I didn't really care about seeing it. I wasn't rushing to the theater to see it. I just wanted to see Thriller in 3D. So it was like, might as well stick around for the show. As for gaming, I've still been playing some Spider-Man, but it's slow going for 2 reasons. One, I keep stopping every 5 minutes to take pictures because the lighting is gorgeous and I'm like, oh, this would look so good. And B, wait, did I say one? Two. Secondly, I've actually been more in the mood for No Man's Sky because I need to just relax and I don't want to have like stressful combat and stuff, you know? So I just want to go, and just relax, no pressure, and explore the galaxy. So I have been also playing some No Man's Sky. Also because this past week, they started their third community event. They skipped a week, which was weird. I actually did check on Thursday night, even though I saw nothing online. I played the game on Thursday night just to see, and there was still nothing. But they have a third one going now, and this time around, Polo wants Sentinel data, so you have to kill off Sentinels, which is not really my thing, so I'm probably not going to do too much with this one, because I'm outfitted more for exploration and not combat. Although the story mission where Polo is like, here, I need you to go here and kill these Sentinels and get this stuff. You kill a Sentinel, then they bring in some reinforcements, the armor-plated ones, you kill those, then they bring in one of the dogs, and that's where I was like, oh, hell no. But the dog never really attacked me, it just sort of zigzagged around, so I was able to kill it, and then Polo's like, okay, come back up into space and give me the data. So I'm like, okay, that was easy. So when I returned, I bought my new emote, which was a dancing emote, which is super fun, because I want the emotes most of all. So I got that, and then I went back through the portal to my origin system so that I could make sure that it was okay. And once I was back in my own system, I'm like, alright, no more glitches, I'm good. I was like, let me see. So I killed some more Sentinels, and this time when the dog Sentinel showed up, it started shooting at me and kicking my ass, and I said, no, 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 I'm out of here. And I just left. And I escaped. And we won't be doing that. It was nice of them to make the story mission for the community event doable, no matter what your skill level. But now I'm like, okay, no, I'm good. Because I certainly don't want to kill that and then have one of those big walkers show up, because no, those aren't cool. But I know you're all here to hear me talk about what I promised I would talk about last week, which is Okami. I am finally playing Okami. I know, it's been ages. I never got it when it was first released. Everyone said how great it was, but I don't even remember when that was and what else was out that I was playing, but obviously it just wasn't... It was on my radar, I knew of it, but it wasn't like, oh, I can't wait to play this, so I'll finish this and then I'll go play that, you know, whatever. But then they released it on the Wii, and I remember thinking, oh, the drawing might be better with the motion controls. I still never got it. Then they put it on the 3DS, and I thought, oh, well, that's even more perfect because you have a touchscreen with a stylus to draw on, so that's, like, perfect. But I still didn't get that version either. And then they remastered it in HD, put it on the PS4 and stuff, and I'm like, maybe one day I'll get it. And that day has finally come because they released it on the Switch. And I thought, perfect. A, I can play it portably, and B, I can draw on the touchscreen. So, and as a bonus, it was only $20. I wasn't sure what they were going to get for it, and when I checked and it was only $20, I said, done. I wanted to finish Wolfenstein 2 before starting a new Switch game, but I was in a mood, and I was tired of killing Nazis, and I needed something nice and pretty, and so I splurged and just got Okami. And oh my goodness, is Okami pretty. It's just gorgeous. When you break the curse and like the flowers and trees and everything spring to life, it's just, it's wonderful. My favorite thing to do in the game, honestly, is feeding the animals that you come across, like the deer or the birds or the raccoons or even the foxes. I fed a tiger. Because when you feed them, you get this like zen little cutscene where the camera just pans around you and the animal, and this pretty music plays, and it's just so soothing and wonderful, and it's my favorite thing to do in the game. As for the rest of the game, it's still fun. Not as fun as feeding the animals, but obviously you can't make a game about feeding animals. Although you could. I don't know who played it, except me. But it's very Zelda-esque. You know, you move from area to area, and then there's dungeons, and you can do some side quests, and then when you go into the dungeon, you beat the boss with your new power that you've just learned so that you can defeat that boss with that power. And you just keep moving through it and learning new powers and defeating more enemies and cleaning up the world and making it pretty. So, Zelda-esque is not a bad thing. More games could use the Zelda template. It's a good template to go by. It's funny because I thought it felt sort of Zelda-esque, and then I went to do a dungeon, and I got halfway through the dungeon, and I opened a door that opened to the beginning part of the dungeon, and I said, oh, that's very Zelda-esque, and so I went out and I saved, because that's what you do. And then it was like, okay, now you can just go right up to the boss now, and I'm like, this is so Zelda. But it's great. I'm really enjoying it. I have not played it on the TV, because the game can be very, very picky about your drawing. It's one of my 2 complaints about the game. It can be very picky about the drawing. In the freaking tutorial level, you learn the slash move, and then where you literally, you press the button to draw, and then you just slash across it with your finger. And at the end, you had to slash this giant peach that was hanging from a tree. So you slash the stem, and it falls to the ground. I literally had to Google how to do this, because I was slashing vertically, I was slashing the peach, I was slashing the stem, I slashed the branch, I slashed this way, that way, up, down, sideways. Nothing was working, and I'm like, I can't even get out of the tutorial. This is not a good start. And then it was just so picky, and I actually tried to use the joystick to do it, but it was it just was even worse trying to use the joystick to draw with, and I'm just like, no. I know that you can use the, if you have the Joy-Cons separated, you can use the Joy-Cons and you can draw with the motion controls, but I really like having the finesse of my finger on the touchscreen, so I've basically only played this portably, which is fine because the Switch is mostly a portable system for me. When I'm home, I play my PlayStation. When I'm on the train, I can play my Switch. So I tend not to play Switch games at home. The other complaint that I have about Okami is the combat, which is both super complicated and super simple at the same time. In the tutorials, it's like, okay, so you hit them a couple of times, and then you can draw and slash them, and then they go away. And I'm like, okay, but then certain enemies, but you don't have to. You can just attack them, and then they're defeated. You don't have to do the drawing finishing move. But then certain enemies you do need to draw to defeat them, like the guys with the guitars, because they'll block you with the guitar, but then eventually they'll freeze, and then you can slash the guitar and break it in half, and then they're done, and then you can just attack them, and they're gone. And sometimes I'll slash them, sometimes I just attack them. I don't see that it makes any difference either way, so it's kind of chaotic, and I don't really always know what I'm doing. It's not difficult combat, it's fine, but then there are certain enemies, like the guys with the guitars, or the big, insectoid plant things, where you have to, knock its boulder back at it, and it pops open, and then you can attack the inside. That's the only way to defeat it. So some of them you can just attack and defeat. Some of them require specific moves to do that. And now they've just introduced another element, 5 hours into the game. They're introducing a new element where as they're slow motion dying, you can go to the draw screen and draw something, and it will give you a demon fang, which is very worth money, or trade it for something good. I don't remember exactly what yet, but you have to discover what to draw. And I did it by accident, one time I tried it, and they're like, oh, okay, so for that enemy I should slash them. But I don't remember what enemy that was, because my memory is terrible, because I'm old. And so I'm probably not going to be getting a lot of the demon fangs, so I hope they're not really integral to completing the story. But overall, I'm really enjoying it. I'm just over 6 hours in and still enjoying it. I'm only playing it in short bursts on the train, but that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. And while sometimes I would like to play more, I've played it on my couch, but portably, sitting on my couch, not on the TV, because I like to draw. But it's pretty, and that's what I wanted, was something pretty and nice. and it's delivering in spades. So, finally playing Okami, leave me alone. I will see you back here next time, and I'll talk about something else. I don't know what, but I'll think of something. Bye!